Hello everyone, Mr. Kelso here. Full disclosure, at the beginning of the video, I was given a review copy for this game, and I'm also friends with the community manager at Red Barrel, so there you go. Oh, this is making me sick to my stomach just slightly. Ah! So Outlast 2 is actually very scary, and the clip that you just saw that's about halfway through the game is only a small portion of the scares that I had throughout my entire experience hanging out at this weird school and this weird village. Spoilers, there'll be none except for a couple of clips that you just saw. I won't give any theories about what I think is actually going on in the world of Outlast, but I do want to report that this is definitely a game that if you loved the first one, you will also really enjoy this game. At least I did. I think that Red Barrels did a fantastic job taking some of the gameplay elements that we had in the first Outlast and improving on them and evolving them to make them new and fresh and interesting. One of the things that I really did not like about the original Outlast was the fact that you spent a lot of time backtracking and going through this entire asylum. You saw a lot of the same places over and over again, the same enemies over and over again, and nothing changed very much throughout your experience. In Outlast 2, that's not the case at all. In fact, you really don't do very much backtracking at all. You see a couple of places twice as you go through the story, but it's not as much backtracking as it is the puzzle has changed for that area, and it's different than the last time you were there. So it's really important to realize that even in the couple of times they did recycle areas, it was different. And that's, I think, the thing I appreciated the most about this game, was that it felt like an adventure from beginning to end. You felt like you were accomplishing something. You didn't feel so overwhelmed with dread as you continue to trudge through the same place. This allowed them to change up the scares, change up the enemies, change up what was being done to you, changed up your methodology. Should I be running really fast to get past this? Should I be sneaking the entire time? What of the bigger, tougher enemies am I going to have to learn their tells and how to deal with them in order to get past the bad guys? Overall, Outlast 2, in my opinion, when it comes to gameplay, is some of the best for a non-combat horror game that I've ever experienced. Definitely my favorite overall. It's different, it's varied, and the environments change as you continue throughout the story, and that made it a lot of fun to me. It's gross. You wanted gross, you get gross. It's a gross game. You wanted scary. There are tons and tons of environmental scares and of just the right amount of jump scares to keep you going. Now, I want to switch gears and talk about the story. Again, no spoilers, other than at the very beginning of the game, you are a reporter, a man and wife couple. The wife's the reporter, the man's the cameraman, and you go into this reservation in Arizona. Your helicopter crashes, and your wife is missing, and the story begins. I don't want to spoil the story for you, but I do want to say that there were times that it made me feel uncomfortable, and not the kind of uncomfortable that a horror game can kind of give you, but uncomfortable in the sense that, and I feel like they did this with a lot of respect and reverence, and it's not too intense, and the whole thing with their withholding scenes or changing scenes when it comes to like assault and things like that, it has nothing to do with that whatsoever. I wish I knew how to explain this and share this with you all without spoiling. So basically what I want to try to say is this. Some of the thematic elements left me very uncomfortable because I am a huge proponent of people being alive instead of dead, particularly people who are defenseless. And I feel like although every company has, and every creator and every artist has the right to create whatever they want to create, me personally, there are some areas that are off limits. And one scene in particular towards the end of the game, and again, no spoilers, where someone who was very defenseless was killed. There's a lot of killing and death in this game. Don't buy it if you're not comfortable with that. It just made me uncomfortable. I feel like the story is really well put together. The world building is fantastic, even though the elements really just disturbed me. They did a great job building the world. The lore is fantastic. The characters that they do present are really well presented and put together. The logs that you read and the papers that you find, all of it makes sense. It's put together well. It's told in a really great story. The voice acting, the music, all of that's fantastic. It's just, for me personally, and I feel like that's okay for me to share that with you all because, you know, I reviewed it. This is my personal opinion. Me personally, some of the obvious harming of defenseless people really, really bugged me. I mean, to my core. It didn't stop me from completing the game. It didn't make me angry at them for creating what they created, but it bugged me. And I didn't enjoy it at all, any of that. It just absolutely, it hurt me. In fact, there were times where I had to stop playing and stop streaming the game. I was like, I just don't want to deal with this right now. And again, this isn't an insult. This isn't like, shame on you, Red Barrels. Nothing like that whatsoever. It just, it made me uncomfortable and I didn't like it. And I feel personally that there are just some things that I do not want to engage in or experience. You can give me a video game and we can shoot the bad guys all day long. You know, that's not a big deal. But this, it bugged me. And so just want to share that with you. If you are really, really disturbed by really touchy subjects, don't play this game. It's different from Outlast 1 in that respect. In the first one, obviously you had these people in the insane asylum and, you know, you feel sorry for the residents there, but this is different and it's a lot tougher to swallow. And it's what sets the game apart from the first one, that they went there and they did that. But it's a really great game, despite my concerns and reservations and personal opinions about those things. It's a great game and it is totally worth your time. It took me about 15 hours or so to complete. I just played it through once on normal difficulty. There's some crazy achievements if you want to go out there, trophies, if you want to go and play it on harder difficulties and do crazy stuff. But, you know, that's it. That's Outlast 2. If you're into it, if you like horror games, play it. If you don't, and you can't stomach really tough stuff, you might want to pass. Check out this clip, and while you're watching it, feel free and subscribe to the channel, and catch me another time for another review. Look at that. Who is he? I don't know. He's a creepy dude who wants me. Oh, shoot!